Welcome to our defense briefing program. I am your host, Liang Jun. We dive into some pressing global issues that are shaking the foundations of international relations and humanitarian efforts. First up, Sudan is in turmoil as a brutal civil war rages on, leaving women to endure unimaginable horrors, including sexual violence used as a weapon of war. Their plight is a stark reminder of the human cost of conflict that often goes unnoticed by the world. Next, we turn our attention to the escalating tensions between Israel and Hezbollah. With calls for a ceasefire ringing out from the international community, Israeli officials are pushing back, raising concerns about a potential full-scale war. The geopolitical landscape is fraught with uncertainty as the world watches closely for any signs of escalation that could lead to a humanitarian crisis similar to that seen in Gaza. Lastly, we have troubling news from China, where a senior U.S. defense official has revealed that the country's newest nuclear-powered submarine has sunk. This incident raises serious questions about the oversight and training standards within the People's Liberation Army, potentially undermining China's military ambitions. Please stay tuned for more detailed coverage on these significant stories. Yahoo U.S. reports on the dire situation in Sudan, where a brutal civil war has ravaged the country for 17 months, leading to a humanitarian crisis of staggering proportions. As the army intensifies its assault on Khartoum against the paramilitary Rapid Support Forces (RSF), women are left vulnerable and desperate. A group of women who trekked for hours to access cheaper food in army-controlled territory shared harrowing tales of violence and sexual assault. One woman in tears implored the world for help, highlighting the pervasive sexual violence being used as a weapon of war. The UN has documented numerous cases of rape and abuse, with the RSF and its militias being the primary perpetrators, leaving communities shattered and women living in constant fear. Foreign policy discusses the escalating tensions between Israel and Hezbollah, particularly in light of Israel's recent military actions. Amidst calls for a ceasefire from various international actors, the Israeli government remains resolute in its military objectives, with Prime Minister Netanyahu expected to address the UN General Assembly. The situation is precarious as the Israeli Defense Forces aim to dismantle Hezbollah's capabilities while facing dwindling international support. As U.S. military aid to Israel but has refrained from providing direct assistance for operations against Hezbollah, raising concerns about the potential for a wider conflict that could engulf both Lebanon and Israel. The Sydney Morning Herald reveals an embarrassing incident for China's military, as its newest nuclear-powered attack submarine reportedly sank at a pier earlier this year. This incident raises serious questions about the quality of training and oversight within the People's Liberation Army (PLA) and highlights ongoing issues of corruption in China's defense industry. The Chinese government has thus far remained silent on the specifics of the incident, which comes at a time when China is rapidly expanding its naval capabilities. The sinking submarine incident, coupled with China's recent intercontinental ballistic missile launch, underscores the complexities and tensions surrounding military developments in the region. Yahoo U.S. reports that Nebraska Governor Jim Pillen has made significant changes in the state's administrative structure by promoting Lee Will to lead the Department of Administrative Services, overseeing the management of state budgets and employees. Will, who has been with the Nebraska government since 2015 and served as the state budget administrator since 2020, is recognized for his exemplary leadership and collaboration with state agencies on budget forecasting and property tax relief proposals. In his new role, he aims to implement additional spending reductions through direct oversight of various operations. Neil Sullivan will take over Will's previous role as state budget administrator, while Kara Valentine has been appointed as the interim director of the Department of Environment and Energy. CNN reveals a concerning incident involving China's newest nuclear-powered submarine, which reportedly sank Peace Ride earlier this year. The Zhou-class submarine, the first of its kind under construction near Wuhan, was observed in satellite images before disappearing from the dock. U.S. officials suspect the Chinese Navy attempted to conceal the losses, raising questions about the internal accountability of China's defense industry, which has a history of corruption, as China works to modernize its military and expand its submarine fleet. The situation highlights the strategic competition between the U.S. and China, with the latter aiming to enhance its naval capabilities significantly in the coming years. The New York Times highlights the escalating conflict in Sudan as the military launches a major operation to reclaim territory lost during a civil war that began 17 months ago. Army Chief General Abdel Fattah al-Burhan addressed the United Nations, blaming opposition forces for the ongoing devastation. The war has led to a humanitarian crisis, with over half of Sudan's population facing acute hunger and millions displaced. Despite recent U.S.-mediated peace talks that allowed some humanitarian aid to reach affected areas, the army's absence from negotiations casts doubt on the prospects for a ceasefire, leaving the situation precarious for millions of Sudanese citizens. Yahoo U.S. reports on the proactive response of the Salvation Army in Central Florida as Hurricane Helene approaches. Although the storm is not expected to directly impact the region, local teams are gearing up to assist those affected. An emergency response team from Orlando has established a temporary base in Lakeland, ready to deploy to the hardest-hit areas post-storm. Equipped with rapid response units, they aim to provide thousands of hot meals daily, demonstrating their commitment to support victims and first responders. Major Ken Chapman emphasized their dedication to not just providing immediate aid, but also to being present during the recovery phase. The Australian Broadcasting Corporation reflects on the lessons Israel should learn from its 2006 ground invasion of Lebanon, which ended in significant civilian casualties and strategic failures. The inquiry following the conflict revealed that Israel's reliance on air power was insufficient to stop Hezbollah's rocket attacks, leading to a ground invasion that ultimately did not achieve its military objectives. As tensions rise again, parallels are drawn between the current situation and the past, highlighting the need for Israel to consider political solutions rather than purely military ones. The Winograd Commission's findings stress that effective responses to threats require political agreements, not just military might. According to the Associated Press, the Biden administration's latest military aid package for Ukraine, totaling over $7 billion, aims to enhance the country's air defenses amid ongoing conflict with Russia. This package includes critical systems like the Patriot missile battery, designed to protect you against aerial threats. Additionally, the U.S. is providing immediate weapons, including glide bombs and various artillery systems, to support Ukraine's frontline defense, with total military assistance now nearing $60 billion since the invasion began. The U.S. is also focusing on long-term support to ensure a steady flow of arms and capabilities, including training programs for Ukrainian pilots to operate advanced fighter jets. Yahoo U.S. reports that the Biden administration has announced over $7 billion in military aid to Ukraine, significantly enhancing its air defenses with the inclusion of a new Patriot missile battery and a variety of immediate weaponry, including glide bombs and artillery. This latest infusion brings the total U.S. support to nearly $60 billion since the Russian invasion in February 2022, highlighting the urgency and scale of the assistance. The Joint Standoff Weapon JSOW, a precision glide bomb, will be sent to bolster Ukraine's long-range capabilities. Although it does not fulfill President Zelensky's requests for more extensive long-range missiles, the aid package also emphasizes long-term support, with funds allocated for air defenses and drone production, aiming to produce an additional 10 drones in the coming months. Secretary of State Antony Blinken noted that the support would include expanded training for Ukrainian pilots on F-16 fighter jets, with some already receiving necessary English language training for operational readiness. As Ukraine continues to face challenges, including significant Russian air defenses, the ongoing U.S. military support is crucial for bolstering its defense capabilities. Thank you for tuning in. The content above showcases the latest briefing reports and analytical synopsis, thoughtfully curated by the 6DO team. These insights stem from a wide array of reputable media outlets, think tanks, government sources, and specialized experts worldwide. We encourage you to explore these sources for a comprehensive perspective. Keep in mind that while the content may not always align with the official standpoint of 6DO Brief, it's not meant to be taken as absolute directives for decision-making. Comprising seasoned media professionals, learned scholars, and accomplished scientists, the 6DO team embodies a trailblazing, fully independent media entity, To customize 6DO brief to meet your professional needs, you have the option to subscribe to a diverse array of briefings on our website. 6DO brief on, regardless of your location. You can conveniently receive 6DO brief via email.